Hey, welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me on this program. Today, I've got a very special guest, a client of mine, and also a business partner of mine, Sophie Mienga. Now, you are watching this program because you either enrolled as my coaching client or you are considering working with me as a coaching client. And I'm very, very grateful that Sophie has allowed us to record the whole process of taking her knowledge into the world through my system. And really truly grateful for that because it is for your benefit that you get to see exactly how it's done, regardless of what industry you find yourself in and what is it that you do. The process is the same. Now, before I introduce Sophie here, let me remind you the key components of what it takes for you as a business coach, consultant, or whatever service you are in to take your knowledge from unknown to where it is actually known. So you probably would have gone through the lead capture, just like Sophie did, where we got her details and really started following up on her, doing all the goodwill and putting all the educational information, like where I was showing her my expertise in doing this. And then we scheduled her for a call with me. We did that a few weeks ago, and then we converted Sophie into a client. And now we are at that stage where I am delivering this service. So you are probably somewhere along this journey here. Maybe you're just a lead, maybe you are receiving a following up, or maybe you have already scheduled a call and you're looking to have a conversation with me to see, whether what I offer is actually best suited to what you're doing, and then we come to the delivery. So I'm very excited about this training. If you've got any questions, you can shoot out an email or just reach out, to my team. Will be able to help you. Thanks again for that. Sophie, thank you so much for joining me here for our first service call.
My pleasure. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Incredible. Really appreciate you allowing us to record this for the benefit of our students and those that will come, along, after this. Now, Sophie, you may recall, when we were speaking earlier on, when we were talking about your service, how much is needed, and you say something that I want to start with, maybe by asking you, what is the value of the service that you provide within the social care?
Okay. It is life-changing. Right. And I say this without a doubt.
Right. Why would you say that?
Because it's exactly like what you're doing with me now. I have gained knowledge over the years through direct involvement with the social care management, having started as a hands-on carer. And I happened to love the job, so I thrived, by default, really. I had no plans initially to become a manager whatsoever. I just loved looking after people. And I think that's where the secret lies. Through my absolute commitment and demonstrating work ethics that made other people, my managers and other leaders within my first organization identify something about me that made them feel, even very early years into the job, I had something, that would make a good manager. So they saw my potential, just because I loved my job and I did it, not necessarily because of the money I was earning, because I wasn't earning a lot of money at all. But I loved it. I did it with all my heart, with all my soul. And I ended up, rising up in the ranks from being a hands-on carer to working from an office, which when I worked as a hands-on carer, I never even went near. But it, after a few years, became my office. So it's life-changing because I have the direct experience knowledge, which I can help people working with you to understand what they actually need to do in order to run a successful health and social care enterprise.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, if you are listening and watching this, the number one step is to be absolutely clear of the value that you offer to the marketplace. If you are not clear, you're going to end up charging people based on hourly rate and the number of days you work. And that is completely wrong. Now, I would say that up front, because as long as you charge hourly rate and you are charging on the number of days that you're doing the service or you're providing the service, you are undercharging yourself greatly. Now, Sophie, you have been doing this for over 20 years now, and if you are still charging people based on the number of hours, you're truly cheating yourself of what you could be earning. I'll give you a classical example. The lady who created the Citibank logo was invited into a meeting where she was asked to create a logo. Within 5 minutes, she had created a beautiful logo, which is being used now in America for Citibank. Within 5 minutes, she drew it. She captured all the ethos and everything that the director had said about the company. And in 5 minutes, she gave them that. And they were so happy with it. And they said, this is it. And she charged them $1.5 million. She did it in 5 minutes on a piece of paper, then transferred into it. Now, if she was charging based on hours and based on time, or like the days she's going to take on to doing that, let's be ridiculous for a moment. If she had said, I charge £1,000 every single minute, she would still haven't been paid the 1.5 million she got. Even if she said she was going to charge the Citibank directors, 100,000 for 5 days, she still would not have been paid that amount of money. So one thing that I tell my clients when we get started is we want to move away from charging the expertise that we provide based on the number of days you work or based on the number of hours you do. That is an employee mentality. All my clients, including myself, we don't charge based on those things. We charge people, or we charge for our services based on the value that we provide. The key word is the value there. That's the key word, the value. Not how many hours it's going to take you. And remember, Sophie, you've been doing this, for 25 years. And you've learned this system. You know the shortcuts. You know the fastest ways of doing things. You have gained all these things that a newbie will not get that until they've spent a lot of experience. Now, why should the people you provide service benefit for free or for very cheap amount of money, and you be sufferer for that? No. What we do is exactly what the CEOs, the presidents of the countries, all the leaders do. We charge based on the value that we provide. The value. The key word I'm hoping at the end of our call here is this is exactly what I do. So my very first step during my consulting is to establish that value in quantity terms. So this is good, what we have, but we want to dig deeper and figure out how much is that value? How, is it £1,000? Is it £2,000? Is it £5,000? Does that make sense at this stage?
That's true, yes.
Okay, so step one, know the value. So let's go back. This is where you helped me, really, truly helped me. In order to know the value of that, we want to know what you want. By that, I'm talking in terms of your plans for the future, your plans right now, and what you think is realistic for you. Forget about others at this moment. Really forget about them. It's all about you. What is it that you want? We will use maybe fictitious idea, numbers there, but we want you to be absolutely clear what you want at this stage. So, number one, we may say the lifestyle you want. Family wants. Work patterns. We will talk about holidays. And others that we'll talk maybe outside the recording of this, this session. So by lifestyle, we're talking about your expenses, your house, the electricity, the car, the things that you need on a daily basis. So, for example, when I did my calculations, the things how much I need for my daily, monthly survival, so that I don't have to be worried about where the next money comes from, I'm looking at £5,000. You can think of something else for yourself. You could write it down on your piece of paper. And for my family, including the fees for the children to go to school and all that sort of things on a monthly basis, how much do I need? Approximately £3,000. That's family part. Work pattern. Now, I want to be paid before I get out of bed. Now, that's that sounds contrary to an employee mindset. An employee gets paid when they exchange their time for money. But consultants like you and I, we get paid before we deliver the service. Totally different things. And that's exactly the same thing that you will be doing for your clients, because you worked all your life here, 25 years plus, working day and night tirelessly, so that somebody has to pay for all that time you were doing. I know the employer then were paying, but the people who are going to be benefiting later on will still need to pay for you. Now, for me, this is my plan. This is when I did the exercise. I want to be paid already excess of £2,000 before I actually deliver this service. Okay, for my holiday, each year when I go on holiday, I want to spend approximately £3,000. I'll put £5,000 here for my family as well, that we are together. And my contribution, I give tithe. I pay, because I've got faith. It's something that I believe in. And there are other things that I do that are outside there. So I'm going to write it here. £3,000. My tithe currently, that's what I want to give. And here I want to put some savings here. Okay, for my savings, I want to at least save £4,000. Now, remember, these are my figures.
Yeah.
They don't belong to anyone. They may fluctuate down or up. it depends on where I am. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to figure out what will make me happy today. What will, when I have these things coming in every single month, I am making a contribution. This is how I am going to determine how much I want to charge my clients and how many clients I need that will support the lifestyle that I need. Does that make sense? So
yes, yeah, excellent. Yeah.
So it is going to be 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and plus 19. That's 22,000 pounds. That I need every single month coming into my account after taxes for me to be very happy. So in many cases, my coaching and services convert someone's yearly income into monthly year income. So one of my clients, was earning £65,000. After working with me, is actually making £65,000 every single month without fail. Moved it from being a yearly income to a monthly income.
Awesome.
Now, the way to do it is exactly how we're doing it right now. So in the total here, my exact amount is 20,000 on here. There's a little bit more here. So it's 22,000. That's what I need, okay? That's out, after taxes. We need to be very careful here and say, after I've already paid taxes. And believe me, when you have this working in your favor, you begin to live, not just exist. You become very creative in all that you do because you are getting there. All right, okay. Let's move on very quickly to the next stage. So already, this is how much I have. You can create your own at home, whichever, and then we move on to the second part.
Yeah. Get my charger.
We go to the second part, step number 2. Is to establish what kind of work that you really like doing.
Yeah.
Because in social care, there is a lot of things that you could be doing, but establishing what you really would like doing and that you get energized to such a degree that if no one pays you, you will still keep doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. In your case, would you have an example?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I really, really enjoy doing is helping people set up, their social care businesses. And it doesn't matter, what type. It could be a care service provider, or it could be a training enterprise. It could be anything, within the social care.
All right.
That's one of the things I really, really enjoy doing. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Perfect. That's very good. And usually, what type of people wants to do this?
Sorry, say that again, please.
What type of people wants to do this, to set up their social care business?
Yeah, it's people that are fed up of, working, ridiculous hours for ridiculously low wages, and there's loads of people like that.
Okay, I'll put them under entrepreneur as potential entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Okay. Very important. Now, if you are a student and you're checking this out, here's why we do this. Number one, by you establishing the kind of work that you want to do, that you really enjoy doing, you are eliminating the temptation of doing everything. The number one reason that stops people from succeeding is doing everything else other than the thing that they absolutely love. If you can figure out what you truly love and what you're really good at, and then focus on it with your very being, here's what happens. Magic begins to happen. The people that need what is it that you provide, they will begin to find you. Secondly, your marketing will become very focused in just finding those people. Again, you will eliminate tire kickers, time wasters, because your marketing is so pointed and it clearly says you help this type of people. And it will help you when we get to driving traffic and the people that wants to use your services, that we can be as highly targeted and we know exactly what terminology to use to get them to say, yes, I want to give it a go. So this is very important for you to understand that. Now, the second thing that, the third step in this is identify three. I say three, and there's a reason for that. 3 types of things, of activities that you know categorically will benefit your audience.
Excellent.
Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Remember, you said you enjoy helping people to set up. That's what.
Yeah.
Okay, what 3 things within that you know, if people do this straight away, they're going to win? I'll give you an example. I help coaches and consultants, establish their consulting companies or practices. I know for a fact that if I show people how to set it up in such a way that it is automated for them to keep getting leads, that will help them very, very much, big time. I also know that if I show people how to close potential leads, that will help them very, very much. And I also know if I show them how to advertise consistently, they put in £1 in Facebook and they get £3 back. They put another £1, they get £3 back. If I show people in my audience these 3 things, they will flock my way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So in your case, Sophie, what 3 things must anyone looking to start a social care agency do? Say, for example, I want to start my healthcare agents. What 3 things that I must do? If I don't do those 3 things, it's game over for me. I've failed.
Yeah.
Would you
the first one?
Yeah.
The first thing is understanding the processes that make you compliant right from the beginning with the regulators. So it's compliance with regulatory requirements.
Okay, that is
And
number
this
one.
is right beginning to the end.
Okay, so that's number one.
The second thing is understanding where to recruit from and how to recruit. So the second thing really is recruitment, because social care is not social care without staff. It's so heavily dependent on staff teams, on making sure that you get people to come and work for you in a competitive field, because you're not the only provider. You'll never be the only provider. There will be other providers that are doing exactly what you're doing. So if you understand the trick in getting people looking for social care work come to you and not to XYZ down the line, then you have a lot more assurance that you keep ticking over.
And what would be the third thing?
Well, the third thing is understand marketing or publicity, or making sure that the sources of business, which can be local authorities or private clients, know about you, and when they engage you, they don't want to leave you. So it's being able to satisfy your customers, be it private or local authority. So that's really to do with high standards of services, sources of business, private and local, and being able to satisfy these people. Because if you don't, they'll go to your neighbor. So it's providing high standard, compliant, and consistent services. Consistent is very important. That meets the needs of the end user.
Okay.
So providing high standards, okay.
Perfect.
That meet the needs of the end user.
This is really good. We are moving in the right direction. Very, very important. Really, really good. And again, you may be watching this and you're looking at what we're doing here. You want to be thinking about what is it that you do, because this decides how effective you are going to be when it comes to getting clients for the business. Now, Sophie, coming back to you here. Our marketing is going to be centered around these four things. Initially, we said three, but you've got four things that are very clear there, that if anyone wants to start a healthcare business, they need to become masters at compliance. They need to become masters at recruitment. They need to know where to source business continuously. In other words, they need to be good marketers. How are they going to do that? And finally, they need to keep on providing high standard, compliant, and consistent services so that they continue to grow. These four things will become our hook, or will become our marketing strategy. So what we are going to do, here is a bigger picture. We're going to nail it down slowly into small chunks so that when we are releasing it to the world, our message will be just over these few things, over and over and over and over again. The right people, as we will find out later on, they will see this, and our marketing message will say something like this: do you know about compliance? If you are thinking of starting your business, have you taken time to do this? They're going to say, oh, I don't know
Yes.
about that. And in that marketing material, you will say, if you want to know about this, I have created a free video that shows you how to do this. And then they get to that video. Then you say, look, if you want me to do this for you and edit for you, this is how much I charge, and you can engage my services. So let me show you how. I'll just take one of these and show you how it will work out. So we move on to this one, the implementation stage. So remember, we said the thing that. Okay, let me change the color here for a second. Okay, it's not allowing me to do that. But okay, remember our target audience?
Yes.
In this case, startups.
Yeah, startups. That's right.
Okay, within social care.
And recruitment.
Okay, let's focus on this one for a second. That's our target audience, and we have our marketing material will be focusing will be focused on compliance, as an example. Right, okay. So we are going to create, let me use this. What we call omnipresent. Okay, we will be finishing shortly at 45 minutes mark.
That's okay.
So, but just bear with me, it will all make sense shortly.
That's okay.
So, by omnipresence, if you want to begin attracting the right type of people for you to provide the service, we want to be everywhere so that when people are looking and they're doing the research, they will find you as the expert. The key word there is the expert, the go-to person. Remember, people want to work with experts. So they're going to look for you on Facebook. They're going to look for you on website. They're going to look for you on YouTube. They're going to look for you in events. In other words, live events. They're also going to look for you for online events. They're going to read about you in your book or stroke ebook. And they're going to listen to you on radio. In our case, we call it podcast. and this will be GV. Now, when you are presented with this, it looks like there is a lot of work to be done. But believe me, this will take only 30 days to implement. If you and I commit to working 5 hours a week on this project in 30 days, we will have all these things in place to a point that people will begin to inquire on what we are doing. So all I say to my clients when starting with them, I say, look, give me 5 hours to 10 hours a week, 10 hours for somebody who wants to move in very fast to doing that. And this will lead you into that figure that you would have calculated for yourself. Remember the very first one we did, calculating the value that you bring to the market. This process will drive people to coming to you. And we can do that in 30 days. So this is social media. So we are going to take one of those 4 things that you talked about, those 4 things. One of them was compliance. The other one was recruitment. The other one was servicing your clients continuously, in a consistent way. All of those things, we will need to do things in all these things, like talking about those things in here. In other words, we are going to do what is known as results in advance.
Right.
What it means is we are giving people what they want in advance before they even come to us.
Wonderful.
Before they even say, I want to talk to you, we give them the results they want.
Wonderful.
It will make sense shortly in a few minutes. So results in advance. In other words, we are providing enormous here. Okay, before I forget, let's say, so we will create content around the 4 key areas that we have established earlier on. Make that content in a very structured, easy to follow manner. Okay.
Wonderful.
I'm gonna go here. for us sort of key areas in 30 days.
Lovely.
Very easy, very doable, and by that time there will be inquiries as to, can you help me with this? Now, here is the secret. I'll let you know straight away. When people begin to consume your materials, like on Facebook, on website, and all sorts of things, they will do what they do with Netflix. They binge on your content. We want people to do that, because as they do that, they are taking away their own objection to work with you. By the time they come to have a conversation with you on the phone, you have already indoctrinated them on how they should work with you and what to expect. So by the time they reach out to you, they already know how much you charge, they already know how you work, and they are ready to sign up straight away. In fact, they will be begging you to say, can you please work with me? I will even pay double what you are offering. That's how you charge the amount of money you want, because you have indoctrinate people how you do things to a point that when you talk to them, they feel like they already know you. And it's the best thing.
Wow.
It's the best approach. In fact,
Lovely.
all companies do that. I'll give you a very, maybe an interesting example. Donald Trump, the president.
Yeah.
If you follow his history, I was looking at him on Netflix recently, is Donald Trump's life. You will find that he started wanting to be in politics way back in 89, 99, and he eventually became one. If you look at his lifestyle, he pre-indoctrinates people on 4 areas. Number 1, Donald Trump gets what he wants. Number 2, Donald Trump will fire you. If you don't do what he says, you are fired. Number 3, he's a smart businessman. Number 4, he knows what he's doing. By the time he gets onto a campaign, people are already indoctrinated on what he is like. He just has to say one single word and people are behind him. Now, I know that may be controversial here and there, but the concept is the same. When you are a consultant, a coach, or anyone else, you indoctrinate people to your ways of working, to your ways of doing things, to such a degree that you, when they get to speak to you on the phone, they already know how you do things, and they already know your prices. Okay? Does that make sense so far?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I'm just going to talk to the people that are listening. Now, if you are listening here, just recapping what we've covered so far. Number 1, we established the value of what we are setting. You really need to know what you are doing, what you are providing people with. Remember, the only reason people give you their money is because they perceive the value you are offering them is far greater than the value in the money they have. If you can,
that's right.
If you can convince your audience that the value you are giving them is greater than the value in the money in their bank, they will give it to you because they want to be on the winning side. So your goal as a coach, a consultant, or anyone like that is really to build the value of what you provide. Build it in such a way that when people see, they say, that's what I want. So take time to figure out what the value, in our case here, Sophie's value is life transforming. So we know that. Number 2, know the 3 core elements, or maybe first of all, know the area that you truly love and enjoy, because you're going to thrive in that. Don't take the whole world, just figure out one area which you absolutely love to do. In this case, it's Sophie helping startups within health and social care, establish themselves, establish a business. You choose for yourself. And then you go to the third stage of that. You figure out 3 to 4 areas that you need to demonstrate your value. These are the areas which your audience wants help in. Then after you identify those areas, then you create your omnipresent strategy plan. Where are you going to be sending your knowledge, your content in the world of online marketing and also offline marketing? In this case, when we are going to create content, this is where Sophie and I work together very closely on creating content that educate people on compliance. That content is going to be shared across the internet and in an ebook format, in online events and offline events. The purpose of doing this is to showcase our expertise so that at the end of it, people are going to say, you know what, I don't want to learn all this. You just do it for me because you already know how to do it. And remember, now this again is controversial. People are so lazy. They want somebody to do things for them. It is the world we live in today. Very few people want to go ahead and do it for them. They are so preoccupied. They've got so many things going for them. And if they can find somebody who can do it for them and who can help do that for them, they will pay everything, their money, to have that done. So that's what you want to do. And we are going to showcase our expertise. And guess what? Even though we tell them what to do, they're still going to come back to us and say, hey, give us, can you help me, work with me? And that's when we charge them a big amount. Because we're going to say, look, so many people want my services, but there's only a few of me. There's only one of me and many of them. And for me to come to your premises to do this, I will have to charge you double than what I already do for my services online, because you can access that in You Be Good. But if you want me to come into your place to do this for you, I charge £7,000. They're going to think about it and they will do their own calculations. They say, I'm going to earn 5 million out of this business and I'll have good compliance. What is £7,000? Okay, yeah, £7,000. And they pay you that. This is how we do it.
Wow.
Okay? Because we would have sold ourselves out there before they can actually come to us. All right. Okay. Let me wrap up with what is the next course of action. This is exactly what I do with my clients when we start. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, number one, we want to establish the working times.
Yeah.
Now, Sophie is a very different case. Here we have a different arrangement. And like I said, is a business partner of mine. But usually as a consultant, I tell my clients when I want to work. They are the one that agree to the time I choose. I am in charge. And again, if you're a coach and consultant, you are the one in charge. It's not the client. The client are looking for my service. It's a spin on her. An employee, the employer is in charge. But when it comes to my world, the world of consultants, I'm the one in charge. I'm the one that says, I am available to work with you on this day or this day. You accept that? Oh, you don't accept that? That's fine. I can go and work with other people. Okay? This is for you if you're a coach or a consultant. And again, it's for you, Sophie. When you start working with those people who want to do this, you don't work according to their schedule. They work according to your schedule. Truly very important, because the moment you start working according to their schedule, You are now fitting their business. They will move you around, and you don't have enough time to plan for the progress of your business. You are in charge. You decide when you work with them. You decide when you don't want to work with them. It's a totally different game from being an employee or an employer. And for those that I work with, I instill this with them, and you can decide when you want to take holiday, and no one else will decide that for you. And it is the way it is, and it is the way that it is going to remain. So, Sophie, we are going to establish here, we'll come back to our training here, the times that we are going to work. And it needs to be, in a week, 5 hours.
Okay.
Those 5 hours, they will be very focused. It may be 1 hour a day, or it may be 3 hours, and then 2 hours. We set aside between I see you in person, or we actually do this online like this. If we stick to it for 4 weeks, 30 days, we complete one aspect of the of our marketing material, and we put everything in place and launch the thing into the public. By the end of 60 days, we must, hear me out here, I say must, not we should, we must get a paying client, because it is that easy and it is that focused. 5 to 10 hours. My preference is 10 hours. Here is why I say to clients 10 hours. When you are so focused and you apply everything, it means you get in the zone and your brain begins to flow very fast and begin to produce what is it that it should produce, because you are demanding on your brain what it should give. And because in your case, you've done this for several years now, it will flow out. Number 2, we decide on where we are going to be doing this. Is it online or offline? Now, I prefer, in the beginning, when I'm building a relationship with a client, especially if they haven't had enough of my material, is to do an offline meeting with them. They get to see me, we strategize, and then we move to online. There are, however, times when I just go straight to online because the client is in Australia and they're ready to go. They've got all the things that they need in place. And we stick to that time because it allows me to work with other clients as well. Then number 3, we are going to establish ourselves the accountability. How are we going to hold each other accountable? And then the 4th thing, again, I will talk to the consultant, perhaps a student who is coming onto this. The 4th area is the most important part of all this. Is you want to predict the journey ahead for your client right from the get-going. So here is where we are, Sophie. The next 2 weeks, they'll be the most exciting 2 weeks in the business, because you can see clearly after the call today the possibilities of what's happening. After that, you are going to get into an area of familiarity. You get into the area of saying, oh, well, I can do it by myself. It makes sense. If I can join here, I can do this. I can research on that. The 4th week, you're going to think, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work out. So when you are talking to your client, this is again for my future students, you need to know the journey ahead for your clients and tell them right at the beginning that this is likely going to happen as you work with me. When you tell them that, you are preparing them for the journey ahead. Think of it this way. You jump on a plane. They say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. These are the people that are going to work with you or provide you, look out for you. Food will be available later on. The bathrooms are over there. They're telling you all this information before you fly, special information. And then they will tell you, we will have a stopover at this for 3 hours. You're welcome to do whatever you want to do, but you need to be back in here for this time. And if you require any help, their flight attendant will be here to help you. There's a purpose for that. A client oftentimes doesn't know the journey ahead, but you, as the consultant, you know the journey ahead. Now, for my clients, those who end up working with me, here's their journey. They go through 4 stages of learning. The very first stage, number 1, they don't know what they don't know. So when they come in, I show them that this is what needs to be in place, just like we've done here today. They're very excited. It's an exciting stage. Then the second stage is they become aware of what they don't know. It's like if you've been driven a car, as a child, you see dad would drive the car and it was so exciting. And then when you start driving yourself, the instructor said, okay, when you're driving, when you're changing gear, you have to press clutch, move it around where you want it, and release it. You do it simultaneously. And then after that, make sure your eye stays on the road, and make sure if somebody is indicating to come to your lane, you slow down a little bit. So there's so many moving parts. At that point, you become aware of what needs to happen. And this oftentimes is where the majority of my clients will say, I can't do this. I'm going to find something else to do. And I tell them, you just want to stick with it. I've been on this journey several times, and I know that the next stage is going to be very good. Just stick with it. Let's keep coming to the times that we agreed to come to. Let's keep doing the things we agreed to be doing. You will break through that barrier. When they break through, they come to this third stage of learning where you become consciously competent. You know that if you're changing your car gears, press the clutch, move to the left, and move to the right, and you are in reverse. Or you are in gear number 1, number 2, number 3. And if you want to slow down, don't press the clutch and the brake at the same time. Release the clutch and press the gear, the brake slowly. Not slam on it, but very slowly. You now know. Giving you another example. A little child who's just been taught how to tie his shoelaces. Go through these stages. He comes to a point where he now knows how to tie the shoelaces. But when he's doing it, he wants everyone to be quiet. Shh. Can you not see that I'm tying my shoes? And a good mother will say, be quiet, guys. He's tying his shoes. He is at that stage where he's consciously competent, but he has to focus to do it. To say you put it one down and you put the other on top and then you pull it, bingo, you've done it. That's the third stage. And my clients are going to go through the exact process. They will know I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, but I want the whole house to be quiet so that I can focus. That's when they're consciously competent. The best part now, it is where you are, Sophie, where you are unconsciously competent. We can pull you out of, wherever you are and send you to Scotland in a social care industry. Without doubt, you look at the papers, you know exactly what needs to be done without needing any time to do it. This is where you are aiming your clients to be. And this is what you tell them at the beginning, that this is what's going to happen. You're going to go through all these stages. Do I have your commitment to stick with me till the end of this? If they say no, again, this is for my clients here, you don't want to work with them because they will waste your time. There is no commitment. So I'm going to come back to Sophie. Sophie, You've heard about the 4 stages of learning of how we're going to be doing this. How committed are you to sticking with it with me?
101%.
Okay. I am in here until you succeed. Absolutely, without doubt. Because your success is inevitably my success. And again, at this stage, I tell my client that I am so interested in your success, because when you succeed, it means people will know who worked with you to succeed, and inevitably they will want to work with me as well. So this is in my favor as well as it is in your favor. So let's recap this. Let's recap what we've talked about today. We've established the working hours. We've established where we're going to meet. We have established the accountability, how we're going to be structuring that, and we've also established the commitment that is needed. So the next call, because I've already spoken to Sophie, I already know what these are. For me and Sophie, will be next Wednesday in the morning, where we are going to be meeting up, face to face. And then we will actually be working at the very first aspect of her expertise after doing all those figures. And we know crystal clear how much money we want to generate on a monthly basis and how many clients do we need that is going to support those, that figure. In Sophie's case, she needs only 10 clients, and 10 clients, within those 10 clients, she'll be working only 5 hours a week, servicing those 10 clients to generate the amount of hours or the amount of money that she needs. So again, if you are joining us here, thank you for taking time learning what it takes to succeed as a consultant and how to really, really go big at it. Sophie, I want to thank you for being here. Any questions before we sign off here?
Not really, no. Just because I think the process is very well thought through. It's very easy to follow, and the fact that you're talking and writing, you know how the brain operates.
Yes.
So yeah, I just need time to really reflect and just continue being excited.
Exactly.
And thank you so much for finding me and for identifying something in me that has made you think we can work together. Yeah, I am looking forward to a very healthy working relationship together. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday.
Yes. Now, before you go, any words to anyone who is considering working with me that you want to leave them with?
Oh, yes. Yes. If there's anyone that wants to succeed at whatever their enterprise is, I think you're the man, simply because you have excellent understanding of sharing or using one's knowledge and expertise. You're the man that will get someone to get discovered or found. I don't know how to put it. You're definitely knowledgeable of what you do. You're one consultant that can work with anybody.
Absolutely. Thank you again. Before we go, how did you find the whole training aspect? Was that easy to follow?
Say that again, sorry?
The training, the structure of the training, was that easy to follow for you?
Oh, yes. That's one of the reasons why, rather than have questions, it's a case of just chewing, the curd, if you like. It's just really thinking about how easy it is and how well laid out it is.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very easy to follow.
Incredible.
Very. And also, you're very patient. I think you're really, really patient, because we've had problems with network and my IT knowledge at this stage, but you stuck through with it. We should have done this last week. we didn't, because I couldn't work out my IT. So that's another thing that people need to be reassured of.
Yes.
You're very, very patient.
Incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
Incredible. Well, thank you again for allowing us to record this, which will make available to students and the people who are looking to work with us. Truly appreciate that, for that. Well, with that said, thank you again for joining us, and wish you all the very best, whatever you choose to do. Know that there is support. There is no need to keep your knowledge to yourself. You can be more, you can do more, and you can help people. Remember, there is no shortages of money. Neither is there shortages of ideas. As long as people are around, there will always be problems. And as long as you can find a solution to people's problems, you will always be compensated. And consultants and coaching is one way that you can help people right where they are. Whether you're a therapist, a consultant, a coach, you have the answers in you. And it's a matter of structuring it and knowing where the people that have got issues are, and taking that solution which you have, which you've amassed over many years of experience, packaging it and bring it to the right people. And guess what? Inevitably, you will be compensated. And when you're compensated, your life takes a different path altogether, and you will begin to help as many people. Life is all about contribution. What is it that you're contributing in someone's life today? That's what I'm here for. If you're looking for someone to help you structure your content, your knowledge, your experience into something that is consumable, something that you can put a price tag on, that's what I specialize in doing. With that said, it's Yokai Kajinori here, and I want to wish you the very best in your endeavor, and truly appreciate you being you. And God bless.